Hello everyone, and welcome back to another statistics video. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use our statistical software, SALT, which is created through Cengage, to graph different things. So we've got to start with a data set. So in some of the problems in the homework, you may have to open Excel and type the data set in. Sometimes the data set will be given to you and you can just upload it into Salt. And then there's other times where um, it is already in Salt and you can just click on a little button inside of the homework that says Use Salt. So for this example, I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch. So let's say we have data sets and we've typed them into Excel. Your first step is to save this as a CSV file. So we're going to go to File and we're going to go to Save As. And it doesn't matter where you save it. I'm just going to save it in Documents. And I need to save it as a CSV file. Make sure you choose that type. That's the only one that we can use to upload into Salt. So I'm going to click. Okay, after that, I'm going to go to Salt. So here is our learning analysis. If you're not sure where it's at, there's links in our course, but you could also just go to Google and type in Salt Cengage. And then when you do that, you'll see Salt come up. It's our statistical analysis and learning tool. So we've got to get the data set in there. So that's where we're going to upload. I'm going to use that raw data set. And then I've got to choose the data set that I just typed in. And I am going to select all of the columns. That way I can do fun stuff with those columns. So I'm going to click select. And then it's going to upload everything in. Now I want you to notice something. In my data set, that first row had the titles for what that column represents. This column represents age. This one is foot length. Everything's in centimeters. Shoe print. That's how long it would be. Shoe size, height, etc. If we would have left this off, then it would put that first number in there. So let's say we would have done this. You open a new one. File, new. So let's say we would have just had that and we knew what they were, but they weren't labeled in here. Look at how this is going to look different. Okay, and don't try this. Just look at how it's going to look different. I'm going to save this to my documents. It has to be a CSV file. And then let's look at what happens when I upload it in the Salt. So I'm going to go Fresh Salt, Upload. There's the one I just did. And open. And see how it doesn't have the titles here? Okay, that would be a problem. Because we would be missing these first entries from that data set. See, that data set is supposed to have 40 different items in each column. And this one doesn't. It only has 39. Can we fix that? Sure, we can fix that. We can say add a row and then type those in, and that would be fine. 11, 67, 27.8, 31.3, 180.3, and then check that we're done. And then now we have all the entries. It's just that first row ends up being the last row here. And that would be fine. It doesn't matter what order they're in. So if you do that, there's a way to quickly fix that. Or you could just correct your spreadsheet, make sure you've got your entries here, and then upload it. So it tells you what column everything is. And then we see all 40 rows. Make sure you have the correct number of rows before you start doing anything with it. Otherwise, your data is not going to be correct. So let's look at this. How do we graph things? Well, we're going to go to charts and graphs. So let's say we want to do a dot plot. We can select over here what variable we want to dot plot. Maybe we want to dot plot age. And you can see here is our dot plot for age. And we could do that for any um, set of data here. Now let's look at a bar chart. If we want to create a bar chart, we would choose the variable and we can click bar chart here. This one's going to have problems because I don't have, um, I haven't defined some things. And that's because this is numerical data and bar charts are for categorical data. So I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. Let me jump to a histogram. So with this one, we had this, it was initially set at 0. I can change that class width. So if I want to go by tens, so it's grouping over all my ages, 10 to 20. So this is how many I have, 5. I have 12 that fall between 20 and 30, and so on. So there's a histogram for this data set. Now let's look at a scatter plot. So we're going to click on scatter plot, and we're going to do, let's do foot length and shoe size. And you can see there's our scatter plot. It looks like there's a linear correlation between foot length and shoe size, and we would expect there to be a linear correlation there. So now let's come up with a different data set so we can look at bar charts and pie graphs and pie charts. So I'm going to pause the video and come up with another data set. So let's say we've done survey and we have asked people what kind of pet do you have, and we've collected all this data. And this is a raw data set. We could organize this into a frequency distribution if we wanted to. We would say we have dogs, we have cats, we have hamsters, fish, etc., and we would count how many we have in each category. I'm going to show you how to look at some of this in StatCrunch. So we've got the raw data set. We're going to go to File. We're going to go to Save As. And I am going to save this in my Documents file, call it Pets. And then we're going to go to our statistical software. Under Data Set, we are going to import our data set. And we're going to upload it as a CSV. There's my pets data. And I'm going to input that. So I have 15 rows. And then let's go to charts and graphs. And let's look at that bar chart. And we're going to choose pet type. So you can see here we had 5 people that had dogs as pets, 2 that had cats, 4 that had fish, and then 1 for hamsters, chickens, guinea pigs, and rabbits. We want a pie chart. We can click on pie chart and it tells us the relative frequency, which is that percentage. So a third of our surveyed people had dogs, and then we had 13% that had cats. A little over 26% had fish, and then so on. So that's how you would use SALT to find different types of graphs so that you could analyze those graphs.